Well, I want to welcome you to this week's episode of the CBC Home Service Success Network. It's myself, Jerry Eisenhower, and Cheryl Eisenhower from CBC Success Group here with you today. And every week we try to pick out a topic, something that could be giving people challenges. And in this world today, in the world of chimney service, home service, what we're seeing a lot of companies that are invading many market areas. It's almost been referred to as a mafia, people coming out of the woodwork, and they're saying they work in 17 states, 20 states, whatever. But it comes down to what you have to do in this day and time is you have to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, not just for business, but one of the highest issues we also see is the issue of hiring. And why should someone consider you for their next career? And on top of that, we also have the factor of retaining job our existing employees, where they think there's greener grass down the road. So what you've got to do is, no matter who you are or where you are, you got to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. Right now, we're seeing a lot of companies that are selling out, partnering with private equity firms. And maybe you have this in your marketplace where a private equity firm is moving into your market. And can you compete? Most certainly you can. But what you got to do is you got to differentiate yourself. So why should a customer choose your company instead of someone else? Well, you could say, well, it's because we're honest. It's because we have great service. Because we've been in business a long time. But here's the thing. Your competitors are saying the same thing. So you're saying you're certified? Guess what? They're saying the same thing. So if a customer, a prospect, looks at five websites in your area and every company claims to be honest, dependable, family owned, customer focused, you're actually a commodity. And when the customers see everyone is the same, the only thing left to compete on is price. And competing on price, that's not how you're going to move to where you want to go in this world. So today, our discussion is going to involve how to separate yourself from the crowd, how to build trust before you ever meet your customer, and become the company people actively seek out instead of simply calling for another estimate and another estimate. You know the role, you know what it feels like. So, Cheryl, what's your thoughts on the matter of differentiation?
I think we have to, because like you said today, if you're just like the next guy, it's just a choice between two companies. If you don't have something that makes you stand out, that makes you appealing, again, you're just another company in the book. I know when you pick up the yellow pages, you remember those days, you didn't have any reviews and stuff about anything in there. You just look down, you pick the name, you look for some name that somebody said something was good about. And so, but now with the internet and all, and do people lie on the internet? Yes, they do. Like you said, all of them going to say they're honest. They're going to say they're good, whether they are or not. Most of them are. But if you're just another name in the box, why should they choose you?
Yeah. And so I'm going to show you a book here. This is written by a friend of ours by the name of Scott McCain a few years ago. I think he got on the bestseller list and all that. But the title of the book is Iconic: How Organization and Leaders Attain, Sustain, and Regain the Ultimate Level of Distinction. Because differentiation, creating distinction, is vastly important. Because your average homeowner, they really don't know the technical difference between companies. They don't know what your quality of training is, the experience of your technicians, the quality of your materials, the difference between proper repairs and people taking shortcuts. What they do understand is confidence. Customers buy confidence. When they feel confident in you, your price becomes a whole lot less important. And if they don't feel confident, every dollar becomes a negotiation. That's why we're not talking about advertising here. It's about reducing the uncertainty. Because again, most companies market themselves exactly like everyone else. Think about it. Look at websites of competitors. They're family owned, they're honest, they're quality service, competitive pricing, customer satisfaction, professional technicians. Everybody is saying the same thing. But really, what stands out? What do you do that nobody else in town talks about? Maybe it's your technician training. Maybe it's the in depth inspections that you do. Maybe it's the safety procedures you go through, the background checks you do on your prospective employees, the detailed reports that you produce, your lifetime workmanship warranty, your community education, your annual maintenance programs. These are the things that become your ways to make yourself iconic and differentiate from the rest of the crowd. So back to you, Cheryl. What's your thoughts at this point?
Well, the way I look at it, you can validate yourself all day long. You can put your stamp of approval on yourself. You can put it on your webpage. You can put it anywhere you want to. But until you have a customer base that has their stamp of approval on you, you don't have the word of mouth. And as much as you can advertise, word of mouth is still good. We still live in a world where people talk. So I think if you don't make everything look good, you still have to do that. Your website, your reach, your community service, I think is a super thing. A lot of people that look at someone that works in their community to help other people. Well, if they'll help people, maybe they do a better job. And so you've got to be different. You've got to have all the qualities that all these other companies have. But you have to, a lot of times when you're doing something, you have to provide the customer an experience, not just a job. Because a lot of the younger generation now, they're looking for the experience of the job that they want to pay for. So you've got to be that kind of a company that believes in their customers, that really wants to help their customers, that does everything they can do, and then some. There's always one more thing that you can do.
Always one more thing. That's good. So again, one of the things that I learned from one of the people that I was schooled under, Jeffrey Gitomer, he made the statement: people love to buy, but they hate being sold. And when you get down to it, the choice the customer is making when they select a contractor is they're not buying that chimney, they're not buying that fireplace, they're not buying that HVAC system. They're buying confidence, the confidence that they feel they can have in you. They buy trust. They buy peace of mind. That's why we've often said in our training, the first thing that a technician sells is themselves. The second thing is the company. And the third thing is the solution. That's the order. If you skip the first one or the first two, things become difficult. And that's why I've often said, and if you follow me on social media, you'll see me make a post with the following there. The service call is actually an audition for the larger job the customer is really needing done. Cheryl and I right now are going through something very life changing in our lives. We've lived in our present house quite a few years, and we decided it's time to downsize to a smaller home. So we're getting ready to build a new home. Now, did we go out and look for contractors? No. We called a contractor that we feel we can trust. We called a contractor that we know the past history. We know what he does. We know what his family's done, that he was raised up in. So we feel very confident going into this major change in our life, not over price, but over the confidence and the trust that we have in this contractor. So, Cheryl, back to you. Your thoughts at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I watch companies every day. They hire people that cannot, they're not people, and they don't know how to relate to their customers. I mean, when I'm doing interviews, that's a lot of what I'm looking for. Can this person relate to me on this interview? Because if you can't talk to me when I'm hundreds of miles away from you, what are you going to do when you face the customer? And I think this is one of the training processes that a lot of the companies are missing. They're not training their people into being people. And they have to be able to present themselves, because what you're going to trust about a company is that first person that you see at the door, or the first CSR that answers your question. If they can't get past number one, you're not going to make it to a home run, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it brings to mind the following thought. Are you an Amazon customer? Just about everybody in America is. In fact, I was in another town this week and I got off the road heading to my destination and I saw one of the largest Amazon fulfillment centers I'd ever seen. I was in a major metro market. But this is the whole thing. How did they get there? They got there through the service that they give. Amazon, order from it. Guess what? Sometimes it's here that day. Sometimes it comes in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's the next day. But they become very successful and they're dominating the market. So you want to dominate your market. You don't have to be the cheapest. But what you got to do is you got to become the expert. You've got to educate. You got to create videos and speak to your community. You got to write articles. Writing articles. Become an author. Become a published author. Write a book. It's all possible. Teach homeowners. Answer questions before they ask. Use your social media for this. When homeowners think chimney, they think fireplace, they think whatever it is that you do, then make it where they think you. When they think fireplaces, they think you. When they think dryer vents, they think of you. Air ducts, anything that you do. Building your authority is going to differentiate you and create demand. It will happen. It's what you got to do. So, Cheryl, back to you. Your turn.
Yeah, this has always been a thorn in most businesses, because they find that they don't have time, or they think they don't have time to do what you're talking, the social media, the outreach to people, the human side of it. And I think that's where you're losing a good part of your company thing. There's some time you've got to cut out some time. You've got to go speak to people. You've got to. I mean, you and I both do teaching when I mean, we're getting older. I don't do near as much as I used to, but we're in front of people. We're trying to help them help themselves, because it's all about your presentation, and it doesn't need to be fake. You just need a presence, and you need one that shows up on time, that does what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it, which is the biggest pitfall. I mean, we've had a mosquito company. We live in the mosquito world, I think. We've had a mosquito company twice in a row. They screwed up. We have, I think, two more sessions after these two. We're looking for a new company. And Jerry will tell you, I'm the last person in the world that'll change a company for good. I'll keep them forever. So that's what they're doing with you as a chimney service, an HVAC, or whatever company you're listening from here. You are the face of the company, and you need to make sure that people see, hear, and know you.
Yeah. And it's going to come down to your company culture. Your customers, your prospects, they're going to notice how your people treat each other. They're going to notice how you treat customers. They're going to notice how courteous your trucks roll down the highway, they're going to see these things. They're going to notice they're looking for, are you appearing with a clean truck, clean uniform, professional image? Is all this happening? Does your company have great communication? Are we answering the phone? Are we returning calls? Are we showing up on time? And are we doing what we promise we'll do? Are we using technology? Are we using inspection cameras, digital reporting, professional proposals? And here's a big one. How many companies truly follow up? Actually, very few. I've done 2 classes this week, and it was all about how to become a trusted advisor. But I keep finding out that, hey, they're expecting someone else in the company to follow up on their job. Your guarantees, do you stand behind your work? Yeah, you're human beings. You're going to make mistakes, but do you take care of them? And are is your reviews filled up with failed customers that are dissatisfied? And this is something. How easy is it for them to do business with you? Is it easier to do business with you, or is it easier with someone else? Think about those things. Cheryl, your turn again.
All I can say is all of us hire blue collar companies. We plumbers, electricians, chimney service, HVAC. There's a list of them out there. And, you know, what made you choose them? Did you just find them online? Did you do some research on them? What did you do to find the companies that you're looking for? What made them important to you? Look at your own record and see what you're not doing in your company to make it the most important company out there. But I think we need to start within a lot of times. I think we need to see what we look for. And I think if you see what you're looking for and what you wouldn't settle for, you will automatically start changing your gears up.
Yep. So, as we close out today's episode, I got a couple questions for you. The first question is, as a consumer, why should I choose your company? What is it? The second thing, would everyone that works for you answer that question the same way? And the third thing is, does your marketing clearly communicate that difference? And if you're not, you got to work on this. Remember, people don't buy the cheapest company. They remember the company that made them feel confident, that build trust, create value, educate their community. To succeed, you got to become the company everyone else is measured again. Because when you differentiate yourself, you no longer compete on price. You compete on your reputation. So, Cheryl, you got any closing thoughts before we end today's episode?
All I'd like to say is just remember that everyone has a first place in everybody's mind. And you need to be the company that's in the first place. You need to be the one that they call first. Sometimes you can't always do it, but at least make sure they call you first.
There you go. And with that, I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to join us today on the CBC Home Service Success Network. We're Jerry Eisenhower, Cheryl Eisenhower sitting here with CBC Success Group, and we'd love to help you work your way through the challenges that are coming up every day in business. You know, if today's program challenged your thinking, think about sharing it with another business owner or a manager who's looking to grow their company. But until next time, please remember, your success isn't determined by how many competitors you have. It's determined by how clearly customers understand why they should choose you. And with that, we wish you continued success as you work to turn your business dreams into your business realities. And with that, we'll see you next week on the next episode of the CBC Home Service Success Network. Thank you again for giving us a few minutes of your time today.